Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of the Fishing Teacher. And man, I really appreciate you guys spending some time out of your day to visit with me and watch the video. Always really appreciate that. And guys, today we're going to be talking about jerkbaits and smallmouth fishing. And I'm going to show you what, in my opinion, is the #1 jerkbait that you can throw for smallmouth. It doesn't matter, guys, if you live in the Great Lakes or fish smallmouth in Tennessee or here in the Ozarks, wherever. This is a really good jerkbait for smallmouth. I've caught a lot of them on it, so we're going to give you guys some tips and advice on that today. Also, guys, real quick before we get started, just a quick reminder, you probably heard me talking about this. I'd like to invite you to check out our Fish the Moment lake map breakdowns. Now, if you're not familiar with these are breakdowns that I have built specifically for fishthemoment.com, and it's a great resource to learn more about any lake in the country you want to learn more about. It gives you some good spots to begin your search app, and also you can duplicate those spots on your own. You can download them straight to your GPS unit, and it's just a really good resource on if you've never been to a lake before, or if you've got a lake that you want to find some new spots on. So I'll put my link in the description to the lake map breakdowns there. Really appreciate it. Okay guys, smallmouth, probably out of all the smallmouth I've caught, most of the smallmouth that I've caught in my life have been on jerkbaits. It's like jerkbaits and smallmouth go hand in hand. A lot of people like fishing finessey type baits with them. I much rather power fish with them, with big jerkbaits. And that's what I want to talk about today, guys, is the specific jerkbait that is the best smallmouth jerkbait I've ever used. And that's just Megabass 110 Max LBO. Now this is a different jerkbait, guys. This is it's not like the 110. It's quite a bit bigger. It's got a lot longer side profile. You can see the width on it is quite a bit more, and it's a lot flatter. It's almost like a flat-sided crankbait. And guys, the combination of this size of this jerkbait and the width of the mid part here and that flat side and the erratic action this thing has in the water, really darts around good. Guys, those big smallmouth love this thing. They will eat it up. And I throw a bunch of different colors of them. Here's the box that I got. You can see I've got a bunch of different colors. I'll just pick out a few and sort of show you guys. Tackle Warehouse has got most all these colors in there if you want to check them out with that. But this one right here, this is called Matte Shad. This is a really good one here. I like. This is the probably one of my favorites is this. So get it here. Yeah, this Ito Tennessee shad right here. This is a really good color. Obviously, any type of a sexy shad. On cloudy days, something like a table rock shad. And then on real clear days with the water's really clear, you can't beat the Pro Blue like this. But those colors, for the most part on them, is just matching the combination of the water clarity and the cloud conditions you have. In general, just like with anything else, if you have a brighter sky conditions, clear water, you need to go with the more translucent colors. And then on the more stained water or cloudy days, go with those flat finishes or the metallic finishes. Okay, so, once you got the bait down, that is the best bait for it. Let's talk a little bit about, where you want to fish it and the type of areas you want to look for. And first of all, guys, even though this is a big jerkbait, I still fish it on a spinning rod. You guys who have seen many of my videos, you know that I do most all my jerkbait fishing on a spinning rod. The only jerkbait I do not throw on a spinning rod is that big Megabass Canada, which is like a 7-inch long jerkbait. But the LBO, all the other Megabass stuff, I throw on that Megabass whip snake spinning rod with usually 6 to 10 pound test. And for this one right here, for the LBO, most of the time I'm using 8-pound test in Vizex fluorocarbon. Another thing with that with smallmouth, guys, that's different than largemouth fishing is you don't have to let the bait set as long for smallmouth. You can be a lot more aggressive with it. And especially all you guys that fish up on the Great Lakes up there in the clear water in the summertime, you need to fish it pretty fast and don't let it pause very much. Keep it moving through that water pretty quickly. Now, I'll talk a little bit about the exact type of areas where I've caught them on the LBO before and why this is so good in that situation. The first part I want to talk about is the traditional man-made impoundments in the mid part of the lake where you have big smallmouth bass population. Places like, Lake Cumberland, Cherokee Lake, Del Hollow Lake, Douglas Lake, all those, Tennessee, Kentucky lakes, all through the Ozarks here, Bull Shoals, Lake North Fork, Table Rock, anywhere there's smallmouth like that, that's one. And then we're going to talk about up north a little bit. But the two type of structures that this thing works on really good for smallmouth in the mid part of the country Number 1 is bluff banks. This is a great lure to fish bluffs with. And what I'll do is I'll parallel those bluff banks, usually most of the time in the pre-spawn. That's the time I like to catch them on it. When that water temperature is in the 50s, you can't beat that. Second with that, or any type of a secondary point, traditional jerkbait type places. But if you have heavy smallmouth populations, the smallmouth will use those same type of areas, especially if they're gravel points. So look for gravel points and bluff banks in the pre-spawn. Anytime that water temperature is between 45 to 50 degrees, that big profile, that LBO will definitely catch them. And also, guys, the smallmouth that you're going to fish up north, as far as those Great Lakes out there, it's all about just covering water on those big main lake flats. If you fish Lake St. Clair, Lake Champlain, Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, I've caught them on every one of those lakes. I've caught them good around Pelee Island on Lake Erie. I've caught them in Chameau Bay and Henderson Harbor, on Lake Ontario. I've caught them in Anchor Bay on Lake St. Clair. Anywhere you have those big, vast flats, just put that big LBO on and cover water with it. And if there's a big smallmouth around there, they're gonna hammer that thing. Another type of a deal where this works really good at, guys, where I've caught them on it before, is on Lake Pickwick in Alabama. Lake Pickwick love that LBO jerkbait. You can get out there on those main river flats and around those ditches on that main river areas, especially in the pre-spawn. Again, really catches a lot of fish with it. But I just wanted to clue you in on that, guys. Every type of jerkbait out there will catch smallmouth, but try that LBO. Like I said, I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description. You guys can get you a few of them. And just put it on a spinning rod with 8-pound line, fish it fast, and see what happens. If you guys are fortunate enough to be able to fish up north right now, like if you can go to the St. Lawrence River or any of those places, tie that sucker on and see what happens. You guys will be a believer in it after you try it. So anyway, hope it helps out, guys. We'll talk later.